So just 1 or 2 minutes more, please, everybody. Kindly stay muted unless you're called upon electronically. We'll try and reduce background noises here. Okay. Yes, so we're live streaming now, and we'll just record. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. You're welcome to the link. We have a special episode today. We're discussing the security environment, and we have a cybersecurity expert who is going to be talking to us about security in the home, security on the streets, cybersecurity, voter security, and he's ready to give us a lot of information today. And I have with me Mr. B. Elisha, who is like a big brother to me. Join me to welcome him. And thank you all for joining early. Big thank you to those joining on YouTube as well. And so I'll just talk briefly about the link so that we still have time for other people to join us. So the link is a vibrant group composed of people of different ages, from 16 to, I want to say up to 100, but we don't have any 100-year-olds there yet. But we do have people in their 70s. Of singles, married, people of different walks of life and different levels of academia. And we believe that God has created us to be the link to other people, to be the link to their greatness. And God is the great link that links us all together in his love. Okay, so we are poised to share different things that would help the lives of people in different seasons of their lives. And if you've not been on the YouTube channel, please find time to check it out. It's called Temi Talk by Praising Child, and you'll find episodes on parenting, relationships, fertility, and now we're doing this one today on security. Where is Mr. B? There's Mr. B. Okay. There was a program when I was younger that said Mr. B is a millionaire. I don't know whether anybody remembers that program. I hope that's not saying my age. But anyway, Mr. B, how are you?
I am doing fine. How are you doing, my doctor?
Good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yes. So what should we expect?
So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about security generally. I will start with cybersecurity. Then we'll talk about the home and environment. And now that we have the election coming, I think it's next week, about 7 days, right?
Yes, thereabouts.
So we need to talk about that, how to keep ourselves safe. Those are the things that we'll be talking about. I have a PowerPoint here.
Awesome.
Shall I go ahead? Or?
Yes, please. I'll just get off the screen and let you continue.
Okay. So if you give me the power to share my screen, I would love to do that. So let me just
yes.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, so I have a PowerPoint here. I try to make it as big as possible, the characters as big as possible. So we'll be talking about security environments, covering cybersecurity, home, street, and voters security. So my name is B. Elisha. Full name, Abiodun Elisha. B is also my legal name, so just for you to know. I've been currently, I'm a certified information security auditor. I'm also a certified information control system auditor. I'm I also have a degree, a master's in accounting and finance. So I'm all over the place. And also in information systems, IT. So through my experience over the years, I've worked as a security guard in the past for a few years before I went into accounting, then from accounting to IT. So I'm going to be sharing some of my experience with you. And before I go into cybersecurity, I just want us to understand a few things about computer. Some of us know about computer already, but just to jog our memory a little bit, computer has all these components. They have memory. It could be RAM. RAM is random access memory. So when you're working on your computer, as you're working on it, it's you storing all your information in RAM. So if you shut down your computer, you will lose all the information that you've been processing, all the data you've been processing, you will lose everything because they are stored in RAM. RAM is a temporary memory system. So you have to save it in a hard disk, which is more permanent. So in hard disk, where you save it, we save data at rest. So when you pull it up, anytime you want to use this data and you pull it up from your hard disk, then you pull it up into your RAM, which is your temporary memory. So we have that, we have the hard disk, then we have the central processing unit, which is your CPU. Is that a question? Okay, so we have the central processing unit that processes all this information that you feed into your computer. Then we have the motherboard that holds all these components together. And then we have the power.
Can you unmute yourself? Please unmute yourself, Mr. B.
Oh, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I don't know how I did that. I apologize. Where did I mute myself? Where was I?
It wasn't your fault. It was from my end.
Oh, okay. So what was the last thing that you guys heard?
Motherboard, power supply, sorry.
So the memory, we have the temporary memory, we have the hard disk, we have the central processing unit, which is your CPU, processes all the data. Then you have the motherboard, you have the power supply, you have the basic input and output system, which is actually includes your keyboard, where the language that the computer speaks is different from the language that we speak. So computer has 0 and 1. That's how they communicate. So when you type in or take me to Google, to the computer is not gonna be interpreted to the computer as take me to Google. So it will interpret it into the computer's language, and the computer will reply, and then it will interpret it to the language that you understand. So this is how things work. And whatever application you're using, whether on your phone or on your laptop, or on your systems, we have the applications that help us to process all this information. So all these come together to make it possible for us to connect to the internet, to connect with each other, to network with someone that is in London, from Nigeria to US, everywhere, all over the world. So these are the basic computer components. And then we have the operating system. So the operating system is the interface hardware between, it is an interface between the hardware and the user. So the operating system actually make it possible for us to communicate over the internet to communicate with each other. So it is responsible for the management and coordination of activities and the sharing of the limited resources of the computer. Example of operating system is Windows. Example of, you use Apple, you use iMac. So that's another type of operating system. So without it, you can never be able to upload your apps that help you to communicate with other people. You will not be able to upload WhatsApp, you will not be able to upload your Zoom system or YouTube or anything. So you need the operating system to be able to operate. And then we talk about, we have network. So networking is the connection of two or more computers together for the purposes of sharing information and resources. So you will not be able to communicate with someone that has his phone in another place. You will not be able to communicate if you cannot connect, if you cannot network. So network help you to communicate with other people or other devices. So I want us to understand a little bit of these so that we'll know how security works. Without these, it's going to be difficult for us to know how security works, why you need to secure your devices, why you need to secure your appliances. So that's why I'm taking us into these. I know it's kind of boring, but I hope you guys are following me. Then we have the local area network. It is a smaller in terms of size and geographic coverage and consists of two or more connected devices. So it's like we can consider networking within Nigeria as a local network. However, if you want to network with someone outside of the country, then that is considered as a wide area network. So that's a larger, covering more geographical area and consists of two or more systems in geographical separated areas. So connected by any of the variety methods. So now we're going more into details. I won't go too deep, but this is one of the things that we need to understand. So for any device to talk, they will need an IP address. IP address is Internet Protocol. As I told you before, that the language that computer speaks is different from the language that we speak. So the way computers identify each other is also different. They identify each other by the IP address. They are in numbers. IP address could be 10 dots. Maybe if you have cable and they tell you that we are going to deliver your router, then when you want to configure the router, they will give you a number that you use to configure the router. So this is your IP address that they'll give you. So it's a unique address that identifies a device. So all devices must have an IP address to be able to communicate to the internet. And then we have the port. The port is like the doors. After identifying the IP address, the address that the computer wants to talk to, they need to be able to enter into the device and deliver the message. So to enter into the device, to deliver the message, you will need port, which is the door. So the message needs to pass through the door, which are the ports when it comes to computer terms. So these ports could be port 80, it could be 443. There are different numbers of ports. So these are some of the port numbers. 20 and 21, they transfer files. 22, it's used more in the management sharing of information. That's port 22. 25 also, when you communicating over the internet and you sending emails, you are using port 25 when you send email to someone else. Then we have the Active Directory port, which is 53. Then we have port 80, and we have port 443 and 3389. So those are the most common ports that we use. So we have the packets, which is actually, it's the way your data is being transferred. So when you want to go to YouTube and you type in youtube.com, then it transfers all those information from YouTube to your system in packets. So the packets could be delivered in several installments. So it depends on how large they are. So these are your data. The data is coming from YouTube into your system so that you can see it. And then we are now going to security. So we have the firewall. So when you log into your system and you say youtube.com, or you say WhatsApp, or you say Zoom, you want to go into any of that, everything comes directly from YouTube. And then you upload it on your device. However, firewall helps you to secure your information. Look at the definition of firewall. It's the logical construct that can regulate traffic based on a set of rules. So firewall is like the rules that you give to your system. YouTube will have their own firewall. Then Windows, because you have the operating system, if you are using Toshiba or you're using HP system, whatever system you have in, Windows will be downloaded on it. And then they will have their own set of firewall. They will tell you when you start your computer for the first time, they will tell you to configure your user ID and all those things. So all those, when you're doing the configuration, you're passing some rules down into the firewall of the window, and you're telling the window, allow these, don't allow these. Those are the rules that you are putting down. So you're telling them, allow these, but don't allow these. When this comes in, don't let it come in. When this comes in, let this one comes in. Those are the rules that you are laying down. It's like telling your kids that, hey, that woman down the street, when she comes, if I'm sleeping, make sure that you wake me up so that I can talk to her. So you're leaving those rules down, you're putting those rules down. So you're putting them in your firewall, and your firewall system is like a fence that filter all the information that comes in. Any information you don't want, they stop it and it drops. So those are the packets that we talk about. Any information that you want, they allow it to come in. So that's your firewall. Then we have the encryption. So encryption converts your information into codes so that it's not visible to everybody. If you don't have, encryption actually protects you. If you don't have encryption with your data, anybody can read it. It becomes very clear. So when you type in your password to your WhatsApp or YouTube, you go into your YouTube account or you go into your bank account and you type in your password, it encrypts that password so that a third party will not be able to see your password and steal your banking information. So that is what encryption is. So it turns the data that you're typing in, it turns it into a code so that not everybody will be able to see it. Now, those people that are doing password brute force, it is encrypted. I will not go into details of how encryption is done. It's a long detail. It involves key, private key, public key, and stuff. So when you encrypt something, it's like you locking the door to that data. So you lock the door and you keep the key in your pocket. So anyone that does not have that key, they cannot see the data that you encrypted. So what people do is that they guess what your password is. We call it password brute force. So if you have password to your account and your password is easy to guess, maybe you pick up a word from the dictionary, remuneration, and you say remuneration and you add 1. They can be guessing, okay, and they guess one word, they guess the R. They will continue, it can take them days, it can take them months. They will continue to guess until they are able to break your password. Once they get your password, they have information into your system, they will go ahead and change the password. They have information into your system, they will download all the information that you have on your device, on your computer. They will download it into their own hard disk, and they will be monitoring everything that you do on your system. And you will not know that somebody is already watching you. So when you go into your bank account, they will be seeing everything. They will see how much you have in your account. You are on your device, but they've connected one way or the other that everything you do, they can see. So because they are able to break into find your password. And there are so many different ways that bad guys can get your information. I listed a few of them that is very common here. Phishing. So phishing is the act of inducing individuals to reveal sensitive information. It's like sending, when you go to the fish pond and you're trying to catch a fish, you send a little bait down and the fish grabs the bait and you're able to pull out the fish. So they will send a little information to you and just to get some of your most important information. Like they can say, oh, we send you a code, can you dictate the code back to me? Some of us have heard of people that their information has been stolen by doing that. They can call you over the phone. They can send you an email. So, and they can tell you, hey, there's something going on here. Can you quickly please send me this information so that we can fix the problem with your account? They can send it to you in an email. They will sound like it's very urgent because they need information very urgently. So it's called phishing. Be very careful. Don't send your information to anybody that you can verify their identity. You have to verify the identity before you send your information to anybody. If someone calls you on the phone and they need your personal information, hang up the phone, call the bank directly, call that business directly from the number you already have on your phone to make sure that you're actually talking to the right people. So there's something we call honey trap. So we usually use it in companies. So what we do is that it's a trap, just like it says, it's a trap. We want to catch and understand how these bad guys, how they operate, what kind of information are they looking for? How do they come into people's system? So we will separate some servers that has no meaningful information. And we will open the ports. You remember that I said the ports are the gates, they are like the doors. So we'll put some ports there that are not very secured. And when the bad guys come in and they try to go into our system to get the information that we have on the system, we are watching them because it's a trap. We're looking at how they're getting. We're looking at the kind of tools they are using to get people's information. So we call it honey trap. So this is using romantic relationships to collect information. So it can also be interpreted as somebody is trying to trap you and present themselves to be a woman. It might be a man communicating with you, but actually they pretend to be a woman. And they will say, oh, I love you, when they don't love you. They will just want some information from you. Then down the road, they will ask you for money and say, hey, can you give me 40,000 so that I can come see you? So those are all traps. Then we have the tailgating. This is when someone is following you closely, not far from you. It could be physical, it could be on the system. So they are tailgating you. So we do tailgating on the roads. You're driving on the road and somebody is driving right beside behind you. You turn to the right, they turn to the right. So it's also in IT. And we have phishing. This is defrauding individual over phone to divulge sensitive information, just like I mentioned before. Then we have the 419. Most of us know 419. So we have actually, when I was in school, 419 is actually part of the textbook. It's right in there as part of the things that we studied. So It's an advanced fee scam. Then we have the baiting, enticing someone to take a gift with malicious intentions. Now, this is how ransomware works. Any of these could turn into ransomware. And this is how ransomware works. The attackers send you phishing email and they say, hey, your bank account is about to be closed. You need to communicate with us right now and send us this information as soon as possible to avoid the closure of your account. And they will say, or they can say, download, click on the link below so that you can see some instruction, whatever it is, some instructions that you need to be able to avoid the closure of your account. And of course, you don't want your account to be closed. Maybe you have things to do down the road. Maybe you have some investment going on. Maybe you are in school. You don't want your account to be closed. You click on the link. What happens? Immediately you click on the link, there is a code packed inside that link. Immediately you click on it, it releases the malware into your account. That's number 3. It releases the malware into your device and it's downloaded into your device. There is nothing you can do anymore. So what they do is that they quickly go into where your data is, where all your information is. Your password, maybe you save your password on your phone or your device. They encrypt them. Remember, encryption is changing your data into codes. Once they encrypt all your information, then you just see a big screen on your device and say, your account, you have malware or you have virus on your system. You need to contact customer service, or you need to contact us to resolve this issue, or they can ask you for money. Nowadays, they ask for Bitcoin. They ask for cryptocurrency. So they can ask you for cryptocurrency, that send it to us. Once you send it to us, we'll restore your information and you won't hear about us again. It's a lie. You give them the money, they will continue coming back to you because they already tested the honey. They already tasted, you already give them the good stuff from you, that you're a good source of money. They will always come back. They can give you some breathing space to recuperate and make some more money and then come back to take it from you. So it's a bad world out there. It's a cruel world. So cyber attacks example, we have a fake job. They can send you, you're looking for a job. They can send you information and say, this is job, they're paying high amount of money. You know that that particular job doesn't supposed to pay that much. So be careful, do your research. Make sure that you're not applying to a job that is actually a scam. They can threat you. They can tell you that if you don't give us this information, this is what we're gonna do. Give us this information so that you avoid it. They can try to blackmail you. Then you have the lover scam. So if you're going into social media and you're looking for a partner, be careful. Social media now is full of scam. Somebody behind the computer, you don't know them, you associate them with the picture that they display. They might display someone else's picture. So be careful, there is a lot of scams out there. And they can send you text messages and send you nice picture. You click on the picture, you download the malware. You download virus on your system. Lottery win. If you didn't play lottery and somebody is telling you that you want something, don't click on it. Just delete it because you know you did not play it. Actually, Christianity is against lottery. So normally, most people are against lottery. We don't play lottery. But if somebody sends you an email or send you a text and say, hey, you have lottery win, click on these to claim your win. Be careful. Then you have a friend or family request. So these actually happened to a member of my family, and they contact her and say, they pretended to be, they impersonate me. So they pretended to be me and contact them for some money, and she gave the money out, not trying to verify. She has my number. She could have called me, but she gave the money out first. And that was how they took away her money. It was a big sum of money. So shopping scam. Shopping scam is going on right now, especially if you are in UK, you are in Canada or US. It's a lot of shopping scam going on right now. So if you go online to shop and you see a big deal, 40% discount, and you rush to it, you pay. When you pay for it, they can send you the product, but the product is not the real quality of what you are looking for. They will send you fake. They can say Gucci bag for $4,000, maybe, or they can say $400 Gucci bag, and you rush to it. Wow, that's a good deal. And then you get it, you notice that it's fake. Or they may not even send you anything. However, your banking information that you used to purchase that, they already have it. So whatever website that you go to shop, be careful. Know that it is really the authentic website. Then online investment, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's a lot of scam going on right now, a lot of scam, and they are making millions. They will tell you, you invest $10 today, you get $20 tomorrow. It's all scam. It doesn't work like that. Everybody wants money. You have to work for the money. So how to protect yourself? These are the things. This is the reason why I went through those technical things that we went through earlier. So these are the ways you can protect yourself. Do not access through email link. When you receive an email and you see a link and they say click on this email link for you to do this, don't click on it. No, don't click on it. Go to that website. Make sure you're going through the authentic website. Go to the website, click on the website, and do it that way. I always compare. I don't click on any link on text or email. I do not. So except is the link that I'm expecting, like I want to reset my password. And they will say, okay, we'll send you a link right now. Except for that, I don't click on any link. So check the correctness of spellings. So like Walmart.com, if it is scam, it might have Walmart with double L. Walmart.com. Look at the spelling very well. Make sure that the spelling is correct before you click on it. And then you see this HTTP. If you click on the address page and it says HTTP, let me show you. So you want to go to WhatsApp web. Let me go to YouTube. So if you click on YouTube, it should say http://youtube.com. You hover your mouse on the address and you see http://youtube. That is not secure. When you see HTTP, that is port 80. If you go there, you can be attacked. It's supposed to say HTTPS. The S changes everything. It makes your information secure. So if you don't see the S, don't go there. So somebody sends you an information that you should go to a website, and you look at the website and you see HTTP before the website, don't click on it. It's not secure. So that's another thing that you need to be careful about. So update your browser regularly. Always when they push out an update, download the update as soon as possible. Pay attention to website layout and don't don't click on it if it looks different. Sorry, typo. So don't click on anything if it looks different. Pay attention to the website. If the website is not, it doesn't look good. Maybe there's a color that is different. You see it's google.com and then it looks different. Be careful, don't click on it. If you notice any discrepancy that you're not familiar with. If it is your bank and you see that the logo is kind of different, don't click on it. So have good security software with an up-to-date patches. So like sometimes you want to plug your phone and they'll say there's a new update. Download the update as soon as possible. Maybe it's from if you're using Samsung, Samsung releases different patches. The patches come through the updates. So when they release those updates, try to download it as soon as possible. There's a reason. It might be probably there's a new security thing that they are trying to push to the devices so that the bad guys will not get, they will not get All right. So then if you don't trust your email, we are on this point. If you don't trust where the source of your email, don't go into the email, don't click on it. Be careful. It might be text, message. You don't have to look at it. Don't be too curious and say, oh, I want to see what's in there. Then your password has to be strong. You have to keep using strong password. When you have multiple, right now, because of IT is so broad and we have so many applications, and using the same password for multiple applications is dangerous. Because once they guess the password to one, they can apply the same password to other applications and get access into all your information. So use very strong password. Your password should be at least 8 characters long, minimum. Make it as long as 18 characters. Mix it with special characters, numbers, mix it with different things, and then to get a very strong password. So don't use same password for multiple accounts. Keep your password and other personal credentials away from others. So don't write it down in a paper and put the paper under your desk. Don't write it down and put it on the table. Keep your password away from everybody. Don't write it down. If you cannot memorize your password, save it in another place that is very secure. So if you write it down, just keep it very, very safe away from any other person. And don't ever give your personal information over the phone. PII, personal individual information. Don't ever give your personal information to anybody over the phone. Somebody calls you and they claim to be from the bank. They claim to be your roof company or whatever they might claim to be. Don't ever give them your personal information over the phone. Next slide is, let's go to our home and street security. These are all suggestions. So I put down a few points that will help us. So as I said, these are all suggestions. So in your house, when you are going to bed at night, make sure that you lock all your doors. Check, go around, make sure all the doors are locked. So if you have an alarm system, it actually helps. So now that they have alarm system that from your phone, you can lock all your doors. Still get up and physically check all these doors that they are locked. Because sometimes IT, sometimes technology fails. So still get up, even if your phone tells you that everywhere is locked, still get up to check and make sure they're locked. When you leave your car, even if you are going to the next door and you leave your car, make sure you lock your car. People they are watching other people. When there's a scheme whereby they put something on the road and you just get up to take it off from the road. Immediately you step out and you leave your door open, someone else can quickly rush into your car and drive it off. So make sure you lock your car all the time. Make runs to ensure security before sleeping. That's what I mean when I said check all the doors, check all the windows, make sure everything is locked before you sleep or you go out, before you step out of your house. Be vigilant of your surroundings and the items. If you see the items that you place somewhere and you don't see it where you placed it or how you placed it, be a little bit careful and look around and see if there's something that is going on. So be vigilant of your surroundings at all times. Security tools, if possible, if you have the ability to purchase camera, alarm system, use them. Get dogs. Actually, I was living with my sister one day for some time, and there was a time I was upstairs and they walked in and they said they've just been robbed. What do you mean you've just been robbed? I'm upstairs, I didn't hear anything. So they went to church, immediately they came back, thief walked in, armed robbers walking with them, and they robbed them and left, and nobody knew. So they went to get dogs. They get a couple of Rottweilers, and that was the end of it. It's been over 30 years now. They never robbed them again. So sometimes dogs, they help. Sometimes there is alarm. So if you're someone that is a dog lover, get dogs. They are very good. Then have suitable coverings for your window. Don't buy cheap coverings that anybody from outside, once you turn on the lights inside your house, somebody from outside can see what's going on. And get a good coverings for your windows so that your privacy is protected. Beware of the people that you bring into your house. So if you cannot vouch for someone, don't bring them to your house. There's no problem in running security check, background check on people that you go that you make your friend. There's no problem in that. You can run background check on anybody that you know you'll be interacting with all the time. So know the kind of friends you keep, know the kind of company that you keep. Be careful of social media. People get robbed. And then pray all the time. And don't walk around in fear. So be confident. Go about your business with confidence, knowing that God is with you. And then you've been careful. And the last slide that I have, security tips for staying safe during election time. So as I said, these are all suggestions and they are carefully noted. So avoid political arguments in public. Be careful, don't argue about politics, don't argue about any politician in the public, because some people might be watching you and you don't know. Have thick skin. When somebody's talking about your candidate and they're abusing them and they're saying the wrong things, try just to look away. Don't engage in arguments. Do not criticize any politician, and do not support or wear political campaign uniforms to the polling units. Don't keep late nights. If you don't have to be outside, if you don't have to be late outside, you don't have to be outside for late until late hours, then go home on time. Be home on time and relax. Don't always get back home on time. Let your whereabouts be known to friends and family. If you're going out, let somebody know where you're going. You're going to see somebody, you're going to the store, you're going to one of your loved ones, know where you're going. Always listen to the news, know what's going on. If there's a roadblock somewhere, if there's a riot somewhere, you want to listen to the news and make sure that you know before you set out. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk alone. If you get company, it's actually better. Two is better than one, even the Bible say that. So have safety tools at your disposal. If you have pepper spray in your bag, especially women, ladies, if you have pepper spray in your bag, hey, keep one in your bag and use it. So I'm gonna let us see, there's a video I'm gonna let us see. Sorry, I'm not sharing right now. The video that I want us to see, it's about shopping. Just to let you know that it's going on right now. So I'm sharing. See my screen? Can you hear it?
No, can't hear it, but can see it.
Is it better now?
You can play
Can
it
you hear
now.
it? What's that?
Can you play it? Can you play it? We can't hear yet, just yet.
Can you hear now?
No?
All right, let me just, all right, sorry about that. Let me just stop it. So it's just talking about how these scammers, how they are scamming you on social media. It's just revealing some of the things that I just said, how they try to get you and make something attractive to you. You see something that you like, and they are going to give it to you at a very good discount, and you quickly jump at it, your banking information down. So it's just talking about the same thing that I said. So that's pretty much what I have for you today. I tried to cover everything, cybersecurity a little bit, and home, and the election security. So even the Bible says that do not be quick to speak, but be quick to listen. So anywhere you go, be very careful and try to understand your environment before you start acting. And that's pretty much what I have. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That's been an awesome presentation. I don't know whether anyone has some questions for him, especially those that have been here from the beginning. Does anyone have some question or the other? I was going to ask about passwords, about how you remember your passwords. That was my question, though you talked about it towards the end. But how do you remember your password? Because can't keep up with a different password for every different thing. There's so many things to have passwords on these days.
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big one, because now your password has to be complicated a little bit. It has to be at least 18. I mean, at least 8 characters, and then mixed with different types of characters like @ like pound, like star, like numbers, capital letter. So I will give you an example. If you need a password, you want to type in a password that says mommy's kitchen. That's your password. The K can be capital letter. Mommy can be, M can be capital letter. Instead of O, you can turn it to, instead of O, like in ops or operation, you can turn it to letter O, like zero number. Instead of, when you write kitchen, it's KIT. Instead of I, you can turn it to number 1. So you know that is mommy's kitchen that you're writing, and you want to write it down somewhere. So you take a sheet of paper, you write the application that is using that password. Maybe the application is WhatsApp, and you write WhatsApp, you write what's, or you can write WhatsApp, but when you're writing the password down, you can write the K and put ... but you know how to fill in the gap when you type in your password. That's one style that I use, and I write it down and I keep it somewhere. But if you can memorize it and you know it, it's better than writing it down. So it's when you dealing with crypto, when you trade in crypto, there is secure phrase that they give you, and they ask you to write it down. You actually have to write those down, because it's a long phrase that they give you. It's very long, different words that they give you. It can be up to 18 words. You cannot remember everything. You actually have to write that down. But keep it there somewhere that nobody will have access to. If you have a lock, put it in the lock and lock it up. Some banks have security deposit boxes. You can write it down, put it in the boxes. So you can just look at different things. And then there are some applications also that actually help you to save password. There's some different antivirus software that you can buy. They have password services also, and they allow you to save your passwords on it. And when you download it on your device, immediately you go into that website, the antivirus app comes up and say, do you want to auto-fill it in? So you can actually use that. One of them is LastPass. But unfortunately, LastPass was breached recently. So if where you keep your password security safe is breached and everybody have access to your password, that's a problem. But most antivirus devices like Aura, like Kaspersky, like Norton antivirus, all those, some of them have password services that you can purchase.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't know whether anyone has any questions. Please raise your hand or type it in the chat box before we round up. Something even happened today to one of my uncles. He parked his car somewhere and I think went to buy some medication. He parked his car in a hospital compound in UCH, actually. I went to buy some medications. Before he came back, his bonnet was open, his battery had been taken. And they had forced their way into the driver's seat. And the security guards at the gate were then telling him that if he did not have the tag that they gave him, that the people that did that could have driven his car out of the compound. So they could have stolen the car. So I said I was going to mention it tonight, that that's something else that we don't even think about. If you are given a tag at a gate, most of the time you just put it in the car in one corner. But because he had it on his person, when he got back into the car, that's part of the reason they couldn't move the car. Otherwise, they would have taken the car and driven it out, just presenting the tag at the gate as though they were the owners of the car in that situation. So yes, one just has to be really careful in times like this, because there are so many people that are just looking for people to prey on, and one has to be really careful. Do we have any questions? Any questions from the house? Or that is usually means that everything has been crystal clear where there are no questions. Okay, Uncle Samuel has raised his hand. All right. Uncle Samuel, you can unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Well, actually, that happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, just as been explained, just one piece of advice. The election is getting closer. Please try to avoid wearing political branded singlets in town. You can be an agent of attack, as it happened with the ones I watched in the Far East. It was shown to me. Please avoid it. And this time around, get back to your house on time. Keeping late night is not advisable this time around. That is just the advice I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you. A word is enough for the wise. I guess that's the second time we're hearing some of that. So now that we've heard it twice, I'm sure it's sinking in. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to everybody who has joined us tonight. I don't know whether you have some final words. I was talking to a minister of the gospel. I said there's a need to talk about security in church, security in relationships, spiritual security. We all know that God's word says that watchmen watch in vain. God is not protecting the city. God is our protector, but the watchmen also have their work to do. So this is us saying that we are watchmen in various circumstances in our homes, lives, workplace, different environment. We need to be really careful about the things we let into our space, including our online space. We have to be careful about even securing our mental health as well, among other things. So security is a huge issue that covers so many things. So I'll just let our erudite speaker give us his final words. There are no more questions. Call it a night. Thank you.
Yes, I've already said the majority of things that I have. There is in my language that says, if anybody can help me to interpret it, that'll be awesome. It says, Oju ni alakanfin shori. You know, when you see a crab and it walks out, they have their eyes like the antenna. So the eyes will be going this way. So that means we cannot protect ourselves by our mouth alone. So if you can have different, whatever device you have that could help you, like camera, if you can have camera in your car, you can have camera on your home, and you have access and see what's going on, it helps. Try to minimize what you say outside, but be vigilant and watch and see what's going on before you say things. Be careful before you talk outside. It's gonna be, it's another way of protecting yourself. And on social media, you go out, you go on vacation and you're taking pictures, you're posting it on social media. It could be traced to find where you are. There was a story that I'm not sure I remember the name of these celebrity that was taking pictures, and they have a lot of money where they are. And when they're taking pictures, people were able to find out exactly where they are lodging. And they went there and killed all of them and took the money away because of the pictures and the videos they're posting on social media. If you don't have to be on social media, there's no reason why you have to be there. As long as God knows you, it doesn't matter if other people knows you. So be careful, know how you put yourself out there, and be prayerful. That's what I have.
Thank you very much for that. He has mentioned some critical points now, and that's been about our lips, about zipping it sometimes, because that creates exposure for us if we are not careful about what we are saying or who we are saying it around, who is around when we are saying it. So let's be careful and let's be prayerful. Like the psalmist said, that God should put a guard over our lips. So sometimes we have to pray because we are so excited about something that is happening, and there are people around that are not as excited as we are about the things that are going on in our lives. But we pray that all in all, God continues to protect us and show us his mercy. And that those that have heard such things about us, forget that they've heard it, because that can also happen. But let us do our part and be prayerful and be careful, be watchful and vigilant. Does anybody have some comments that they would like to share with us about this topic before we call it a day? Let it not be that we have some pressing thing to say and we've not gotten the opportunity yet. There's someone that would like to say something. Kindly raise your hand, please, about security. Okay. All right. The other thing I wanted to say is good to have a spare key. Have a spare key. Someone that I know had a fire accident in his house. His gas just exploded after he finished cooking yesterday. Someone that is a good friend of mine. Well, he was miraculously protected. He said when it happened, his door jammed, shut, so shut him into the kitchen. And that the only thing that helped was that his security guard had the key to his house, and that they were the ones that he called to come and open the door and let him out of the kitchen. You might say, why did the security guard have things like this and all of that? But that was an opportunity to be saved in that circumstance. So that was God's saving grace. But it's just something to say.
Yes, please. Good evening.
Good evening. Does someone have something to say? Hi.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
I really appreciate the organizer of the program and the topic. I'm just going to say these two things.
Okay.
More than anything, what if the person is a politician and the person needs to be out and speak about their interest and their party and everything? One. Two, I don't want us to rule out the place of the Holy Spirit, the guidance of God, because more than anything, the gate you lock might become the trap. The camera you carry around might become the trap. You might have camera on, you have online. So I want to say that the place of the guidance of the Holy Spirit is paramount in all security. I remember being in my room and reading, and I was reading with candle and I slept off. And the candle burnt my book and it dripped on my bed. And how God woke me that I didn't get suffocated and died in that situation, it was only God that knew. It wasn't my smartness or anything. I just want to reiterate that the place of the Holy Spirit in security cannot be overruled. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That is number one. Cannot be overestimated, should never be underrated. The place of the Holy Spirit is number one. Yes, thank you so much for that. I sometimes talk about an incident where I was saved from a fire incident as well. I happened to be in the kitchen. I had just returned from youth service, and there was water on the fire. And suddenly my father called me from outside. He called me very loudly, like there was something that I needed to see with urgency outside. And because of the way he called me, I just jumped outside to go and see him, only to jump outside and to hear boom in the kitchen. And it was the cooker that had exploded. It had exploded. All the knobs on the cooker had completely flung to the opposite side of the room. The water had gone off and quenched the fire on the gas, everything. I knew that if I was in that kitchen that day, there is no way, I don't know, I would probably have been hurt. Probably. So I just know that it was divine intervention. So divine intervention is there. There's the place of the Holy Spirit. There's the place of God. But God has also given wisdom, and that is part of why we are here. We are here to get that knowledge. We are here to get that understanding. And it might be one thing that we have all been here to pick. And it can be something as basic as God talking to someone that puts a password on your phone, get a new lock for your door, things like that. Or be careful with this friendship that is not heading in the direction that God wants. So these are things that we should be wary of. Okay, I can see we have some more hands raised. We have Momi Ayedu, and we have Mr. Kehinde Michael. I'll take Mr. Kehinde Michael first, please, 1 minute, and then Momi Ayedu next, and we would call it a day. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to quickly talk about the Bible verse that talks about watch and pray. You know, when God says we should watch, He didn't put pray before watching. Watch and pray. It means we have to be security conscious, even as children of God, as a child of God. We have to be very careful. And, you know, even as a child of God, we should not rule out the being conscious, you know, of our security. We have to know we shouldn't have this over, when you are too, how would I put it, too confident. It's not good to be too confident. It's not good. You have to be security conscious and you have to be very careful. And secondly, you know, what we say outside matters a lot. What we say outside, you know, a lot of people have put themselves into trouble because of what they said. And God will help us to be able to guide ourselves, to be able to be conscious and be very careful. Thank you.
Yeah. Amen. Thank you. Mommy Ayeju, then Theo Belema.
Is Daddy Ayedun on the line?
Okay,
Just
Prof. Ayeju. Yeah.
want to thank the speaker for a very beautiful presentation and making us more knowledgeable on this issue of security consciousness. I think we need such experts in such areas to educate us the more. A few months ago, we had a family, they were installing some cameras in the father's house to monitor their house help and so on, who are taking care of their father. And right from the UK, they were seeing what was going on in the house. And it was giving them a lot of information. And, you know, we need to understand such issues. God is looking after us, He's taking care of us, but the human side, things that we need to do physically are also very, very important. So I want to thank the speaker for what he has taught us and the ones he has reminded us and areas where he has cautioned us. So the Lord will bless him and all of us will take note of these things so that, you know, we can improve on them and do them better. The tag that we are giving when we enter any place, please keep it on your body. Don't keep it in the vehicle. So by the time you come back, you pick it from your pocket and you return it to the security. I kept one in the vehicle one time. It entered a particular place and we couldn't get it out. So they didn't allow me to get out of that area until somebody who knew me said, please, Oga, can you bring us the tag tomorrow? So I had to, you know, get an expert to remove it from where it got stuck, and I returned it to them the following day. So, you know, the issue of tags, we have to be very, very careful, and it's better you keep it on your body. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Theo Belema, let's hear from you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. B, thank you. I must thank you for a very fantastic job that you've done this evening. Can I ask two things though? One, we've seen videos go around of people being threatened in their neighborhoods as to say, if you don't do such and such, you would not, I mean, you are going to dance, praise the music. So in an event where you find that in where you stay, say in your, I don't want to call it an estate, but where you live, you begin to see strange faces come in, and then they are beginning to be more than usual, and it begins to unsettle you, and you realize that there might be a problem. What precautionary measures should you take, or can you take, or in the event that as it gets closer to the elections, you see a worrying number of people in your neighborhood, what would you advise someone to do? Then the second one is, you made mention of cyber tailgating. How can one know when they are being tailgated online? Thank you.
Thank you, Theodora.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
it.
appreciate it. Yeah. So to answer maybe I should answer the second one first because I need more information on your first question. So I'm gonna answer the first one
Mr.
first.
B, Mr.
Okay.
B, do you mind if we take the last person, because I don't know whether it's a comment or a question. Do you mind if we just take the last comment as well?
You mean the second question about tailgating?
No, there's one more person who has his hands up.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Dr. Onawala, do you mind giving us your comment or your question? Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Mr. B, please.
Yes, sir.
Online, maybe one wants to pay for conference or one wants to do shopping. Then they ask for, one is paying with his card, debit card. They ask all the numbers, including the CVV and the expiry date. How can we safeguard against fraud being perpetrated on the card? That is number one. Then number two, all these fintech companies now, they are asking if you want to open an account with them, they are asking for our BVN, our NIN, identity, and other things. Is it safe to divulge it to the registered fintech companies? Then, is there anything like international identity? That is, if I go to a place, I have an electronic identity. Is there anything like it so that anywhere I am in the world, I will be recognized by that identity? Thank you.
All right. Is that all the questions? Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate that. Is that all the questions that we have? Do you want me to, any other person with questions so that I can answer everything at the same time?
Those are the questions. You can go ahead now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I wrote some of the questions down. The first question about the people that comes around in the compound, I have some more questions for that, Theodora. So this is that related to you or someone that you know?
Someone I know. So do you, okay, let me paint a picture. I stay in Magodo, for example, and around my area, we see, for lack of a better word, we see area boys that are not local to the area. We see them coming in and going out. They are coming in and then they're going out. And you, of course, the very first thing, you come back home at 6, but then just as you're walking, you have this feeling or body tell, as we like to call it, that something is really not right. Something is going on. You don't know what it is. You don't know when it's going to. What can the person do in this season of election?
Happening more often every day, or it was just like a one-off?
No, it's not a one-off. As it's leading. So today is what? Today is on Friday. On Monday, you see 5, 6 new faces around. You're like, okay. And then on Tuesday, it grows to 20. And then you begin to see it like it's every day leading up to the elections. And the tension in the area is, something is not right. Everyone is mumbling about it, what's going on. No one really knows what's going on. What would the person do in cases like that?
Okay. Based on my understanding of the situation, few things I'm gonna advise. these are all suggestions. Number one, don't walk alone. If you have to go out and you have to pass through that place, you must pass through that place. You don't have any choice. There is no other route. That's the only route you have. Try not to walk alone. Try to go with someone that both of you have each other's back. Like, he's gonna stand by you. Someone that you trust. And if you can move somewhere else temporarily until all this dies down, then it's better you move out of that area to another place that you trust. Take most of your things that are very important to you, take them out of the house and move them temporarily until all this dies down. Because based on my understanding, it seems they are there because of the election. After the election, most probably everything goes down. So pick some of the most important things in the house and move somewhere else for the main. Is that gonna work?
Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Now, when we talk about tailgating in IT, maybe you have your phone and you're outside and you have people behind you and you pushing on your phone, you pressing on it, going into your bank account, or you going into your account and you go into social media. Somebody might be, we call it giraffe method when I was in school. Giraffe method when we're having exam and somebody will be trying to peep into your information and see what you're writing down for your answers. So somebody behind you can easily see what you're typing into your phone or into your iPad. That's tailgating. So you want to avoid that. You want to make sure that there's nobody behind you, that there's no reflection from your phone or from your computer. Somebody can easily see the information on your device. Tailgating could apply to driving. It could apply to you walking into a building, like you're walking into your house and you don't know somebody's following you, and immediately you open the door, you want to go in, somebody can just rush in with you. That's tailgating. So you want to make sure that you avoid that. So if you're opening your door to your house, make sure you look around, nobody's around that can easily jump in with you. So that's examples of tailgating.
Okay. Oh, okay. I thought it was okay. That's it.
We'll just take one more question and the rest of the questions will be offline.
I've not answered Daddy's question, the payment card.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so Daddy, if you need to pay for something online, make sure that you go to the right website. That's the only way you can protect yourself. There's no way we won't do some business online. There's no way. We have to do business online. We have to pay for something. I pay for my kids' school fees. I pay for it online. I do most of my things online. So make sure that you go to the website belonging to that company. As I said earlier today, that you have to make sure that the website starts with HTTPS. HTTP is port 80. Whatever you transfer through port 80, it goes in clear text. Everybody can see it. So if you type in your password, another person, third man, can get in between you and the bank and the institution and get your information. But if it is HTTPS, that means there's a little bit of security that you go to the website, which HTTPS, if you hover if you hover your cursor on the address bar, you should be able to see HTTPS. Let me share my screen quickly with you. Okay, if you see my address bar right here, you will see this padlock here that is locked. Do you see it? Can we see it? Okay. Yes. That means it is secure. if the padlock is open, it is not secured. Then I need to be careful. And when you're going into any website, make sure that the website is the correct website you are going into. So if you're going into a school website, you want to pay school fees, make sure that you are actually going into the school website and it's not the fake one, because that's the only way you can protect yourself, sir. Because once you put the information on the system, it just goes. You can't retrieve it, you can't bring it back. So you just have to make sure that you're on the right website. Do I answer your question, sir?
Thank you so much for answering the questions.
And the last one about international ID. There is no
Yeah.
international ID that I know,
Apart from your
except
passport.
for passport. It's only passport. So, but if you live in a particular place, you can have the national ID for that place that you live in. If it is Canada, you can have your driver's license. If it's US, you can have your driver's license. If it is Nigeria, you can have your driver's license too. And also, if you're in school, you can have school ID. You can have provided by whatever organization you belong to. But the only international ID you have is international passport. I don't know of any other ID.
Thank you so much. You've been awesome answering our questions today. And big thank you to all those who have volunteered questions and comments today. Thank you so much, Mr. B. Elesho. We hope we find time to invite you to give us a more in-depth discussion into some of these things, especially the computer bits, which sounds like Greek to some people. Thank you so much. Big thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this session of security environments. We've had an awesome session with Mr. B. Elesho. It's been a great, great session. Please find time to send the video to those who are not there. The YouTube video, they would find it most helpful. It has covered so many areas, including the online space. So I think it is something that will be very helpful. And of course, the tips that surround this voting season as well will be very helpful to a lot of people. And thank you so much for joining us. If you're interested in joining the link, please reach out to me or whoever invited you here. And you can follow us and subscribe on the YouTube channel called Temitope Praising Child. Thank you so much. God bless you and a good night to you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our chats.
Thank you.
Chats.
Bye.